As we get older, our lives shift in many ways. But one thing we often overlook is how our kitchen habits might be secretly sabotaging our health. We all love a good home-cooked meal, but some kitchen practices, even the ones we've been doing for years, can have a more significant impact than we realize. It's time to take a close look at the most common kitchen mistakes that seniors over 60 make, and how making small adjustments can improve both your health and your cooking experience. 1. Holding on to expired spices. How many of us have a spice cabinet full of half-used jars and containers from years ago? Spices, while small, can have a big impact on both the flavor of our food and our health. As we age, our sense of taste and smell naturally diminishes, so we might not realize that the spices we've been holding on to for years have lost their potency or, worse, have turned rancid. Many spices, like cumin, paprika, and garlic powder, actually contain oils that can go bad over time, leading to a flavorless meal and potentially upsetting your stomach. When a spice has outlived its time, it's not just that it's no longer flavorful. It can also lose its antioxidant properties, which are known to fight inflammation and promote good digestion. At the same time, some older spices may harbor bacteria or mold, especially if they've been improperly stored or exposed to moisture. Not to mention, old spices can be far less effective in supporting health benefits like boosting immunity or reducing inflammation. This doesn't mean you need to throw away your entire spice cabinet, but it's worth taking the time to go through and check the expiration dates. If you notice any that are well past their prime or smell off, it's time to replace them. Fresh spices can actually elevate your meals and give your immune system the boost it needs. 2. Reusing plastic containers for too long. Plastic containers, those clear, seemingly convenient little boxes, are everywhere in most kitchens, especially for storing leftovers. While they're incredibly handy, over time, they can be one of the worst offenders in your kitchen when it comes to both health and cleanliness. If you've been holding on to old plastic containers for years, they could be silently jeopardizing your health. Plastics can crack and stain, making it easier for harmful bacteria to accumulate and survive in cracks that regular washing can't reach. Additionally, these containers often leach chemicals like BPA, bisphenol A, when exposed to heat or frequent wear. Even if the plastic doesn't crack, these chemicals can still find their way into your food, especially when you microwave leftovers. Over time, these substances can disrupt hormones and cause other serious health issues. If you've been holding on to the same set of plastic containers for years, now is the time to replace them with newer, safer options. Stainless steel or glass containers are great alternatives because they won't crack, stain, or leach harmful chemicals. Plus, they're much easier to clean and sanitize, making your kitchen a safer place. If you want to keep your food fresh and avoid exposure to potential toxins, consider upgrading your storage solutions. 3. Keeping old nonstick pans. Nonstick pans are a staple in many kitchens, but when they start to show signs of wear, they can become more of a health hazard than a convenience. The nonstick coating, which makes cooking easier and less messy, can deteriorate over time. As these coatings break down, they release tiny particles that can get mixed into your food and potentially into your body. Once the coating flakes or chips off, you're not just cooking with a worn-out pan. You're ingesting harmful materials. The problem is even worse when it comes to the chemicals used to make nonstick coatings. Over the years, studies have linked these chemicals to health issues like hormone disruption and an increased risk of certain cancers. And it's not just the food that's the issue. The pan itself can become ineffective. When a pan gets old, it can develop hot spots, causing uneven cooking and burning food more easily. This is not only frustrating, it can also lead to digestive discomfort if the food is not cooked thoroughly. It's time to let go of that old, scratched-up nonstick pan. Investing in high-quality cookware like stainless steel or cast iron might feel like a larger investment, but it will last you longer and won't pose health risks. These materials provide more even heating and, in the case of cast iron, actually provide additional iron to your diet. So, the next time you're tempted to keep that old nonstick pan just a little longer, think about your health and your cooking experience and make the switch. 4. Not washing produce properly. You might think that simply rinsing your fruits and vegetables under cold water is enough, but when it comes to produce, proper cleaning is essential, especially as you age. We all know the importance of eating more fruits and vegetables for maintaining a healthy diet, but improper washing can lead to harmful bacteria, pesticides, and waxes lingering on your food. These contaminants can affect your health in a variety of ways, including causing foodborne illnesses, stomach discomfort, or even more serious long-term issues. Washing produce properly doesn't just mean a quick rinse. It means scrubbing and soaking. Many fruits and vegetables, especially things like apples, grapes, and berries, need to be scrubbed with a vegetable brush to remove waxes and pesticides. Leafy greens like spinach and lettuce should be soaked in a vinegar water solution and rinsed thoroughly to remove any dirt, bacteria, or pesticides that might be hiding in the leaves. It's easy to forget this step when you're in a hurry or just don't feel like spending the extra time on prep. But washing your produce correctly is essential to preventing illness and ensuring that the fruits and vegetables you eat are both safe and nutritious. The next time you're at the sink, take a little extra time to properly clean your produce. It'll make a big difference to your health in the long run. 5. Overloading the fridge with leftovers. It's easy to get into the habit of storing leftovers in the fridge and thinking you'll get to them later. But overloading your fridge with too many leftovers can lead to health problems you might not immediately notice. First of all, a fridge that's packed to the brim with containers makes it harder to keep track of what you have and when it was cooked. As you get older, it becomes harder to remember exactly when you made that chicken or pasta, and you might not realize that something has gone bad until it's too late. Not only that, but when your fridge is overcrowded, it doesn't have enough space to circulate air properly, which affects its ability to keep everything at the right temperature. This can cause certain items to spoil faster, even though they're stored in the fridge. Bacteria love the warmth. And if your fridge is struggling to maintain a consistent temperature, that leftover food could be a breeding ground for harmful microorganisms. So, what can you do? First, take a regular inventory of your fridge and clean it out regularly. Make it a habit to throw out old leftovers and reorganize the contents every few days. Labeling your leftovers with dates can help you easily track when they were made and how long they've been in there. When you make space and pay attention to how long things have been sitting around, you're not just preventing food waste. You're also protecting yourself from potential health hazards. 6. Using dull knives. This one may seem like an obvious point, but you might be surprised at how many people continue to use dull knives as they get older. Using a dull knife isn't just frustrating. It can be downright dangerous. As you age, your grip strength and dexterity naturally decline, making it more difficult to maintain control over a dull blade. The less sharp the knife, the more force you need to apply, which can lead to slips and accidents, especially when cutting through tough items like vegetables, meat, or bread. But the dangers of dull knives go beyond physical injury. A dull knife also makes it harder to cut food evenly, which means you're more likely to end up with unevenly cooked meals. This can lead to some foods being undercooked, which isn't just disappointing. It can also pose a health risk. To avoid all these issues, it's worth investing in a set of high-quality, sharp knives and using them properly. You can also maintain your knives at home by regularly honing them or getting them professionally sharpened. A sharp knife not only makes meal prep safer and more efficient, but it also makes the whole cooking process more enjoyable. In the long run, it'll save you time and reduce the risk of accidents in the kitchen. 7. Overlooking dirty kitchen sponges. It's easy to overlook something as small as a kitchen sponge, but if you've been using the same one for too long, you could be setting yourself up for a health disaster. Kitchen sponges are notorious for harboring bacteria, and since they're constantly exposed to food scraps and moisture, they can become a breeding ground for harmful germs. In fact, a study found that kitchen sponges are among the dirtiest items in the house, containing millions of bacteria at any given time. As we get older, our immune systems naturally weaken, making us more susceptible to infections and illnesses. The last thing you want is to introduce harmful bacteria to your body from a contaminated sponge. Reusing the same sponge for weeks or even months can lead to bacterial contamination, which could potentially cause stomach issues, food poisoning, or other illnesses. To avoid this, you should replace your kitchen sponges regularly, ideally every few weeks. If you prefer to use a reusable sponge, make sure to sanitize it properly by putting it in the dishwasher or microwaving it for a few seconds to kill bacteria. Keeping your sponges clean and fresh is a simple habit that can go a long way in protecting your health. 8. Relying on too much processed food. As we age, it's easy to fall into the trap of relying on processed foods for convenience. Frozen meals, canned soups, packaged snacks. They're quick and easy, but they're often loaded with preservatives, excess salt, and artificial ingredients. Over time, these can add up and contribute to health problems like high blood pressure, heart disease, and digestive issues. And here's the kicker. When you're eating too much processed food, you're not getting the full nutritional value your body needs as it ages. It's easy to justify grabbing a quick processed snack or meal, especially when you're not in the mood to cook. But relying on this kind of food too frequently can lead to weight gain, poor energy levels, and a weakened immune system. Plus, processed foods lack the vital nutrients and fiber found in fresh fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. They're also often low in protein, which is essential for maintaining muscle mass as you age. Instead of turning to processed food, try to focus on creating simple, healthy meals with fresh ingredients. You don't have to be a gourmet chef to prepare nutritious meals. Keeping a well-stocked pantry with whole grains, lean proteins, and fresh vegetables can make cooking much easier and more satisfying. By cutting back on processed foods, you'll not only improve your health, but you'll also feel more energized and nourished throughout the day. 9. Not ventilating the kitchen properly. The kitchen is often where we cook, clean, and gather, but it's also where the air can become filled with cooking fumes, smoke, and lingering smells. Good ventilation is essential to avoid inhaling these particles, especially when cooking meats or using high-heat methods like frying. Poor ventilation can lead to the buildup of grease, which can create a fire hazard, as well as negatively affect the quality of air you're breathing in your own home. As we age, our respiratory systems can become more sensitive, and poor indoor air quality can exacerbate conditions like asthma or allergies. Additionally, without proper airflow, moisture can accumulate in the kitchen, leading to mold growth, which is another health risk. So, what can you do? First, make sure your kitchen is properly ventilated by using a range hood or exhaust fan while cooking. Open windows when possible to let fresh air in. If you're doing heavy cooking like frying or grilling, keep the kitchen well ventilated to avoid trapping cooking smoke and odors inside. A clean, well-ventilated kitchen will not only make cooking more pleasant, but it will also keep your indoor air quality in check. 10. Ignoring small appliance maintenance. We all rely on small kitchen appliances to make cooking faster and more convenient. From blenders to coffee makers to microwaves, these gadgets make life easier, but if you don't maintain them properly, they can become inefficient or even unsafe to use. It's easy to forget about appliances when they're not actively causing problems, but neglecting their maintenance can result in poor performance or, worse, potential breakdowns. For example, a coffee maker that hasn't been cleaned regularly can accumulate mold and bacteria in its water reservoir, which means the coffee you're drinking could be contaminated. A blender with an unwashed blade may harbor food particles that can quickly lead to bacteria growth. Regular cleaning and maintenance of your small appliances can extend their life, improve their efficiency, and prevent any health risks. Make it a habit to clean your appliances regularly, whether it's descaling your coffee maker, washing out your blender, or replacing any worn-out parts. Check the manufacturer's instructions for maintenance guidelines to ensure you're keeping your appliances in top shape. Small efforts to maintain your appliances will go a long way in improving the quality of your food and the efficiency of your kitchen. By making these adjustments in your kitchen, you're not just improving your culinary experience. You're also taking control of your health as you age. Maintaining a clean, well-organized, and safe kitchen is an essential part of aging well. From improving your cooking habits to staying on top of your appliances, these small changes will help you create a kitchen that supports your health and lifestyle, making it a more enjoyable and nourishing space. Take action now and set yourself up for success in the kitchen, because as you age, a healthy kitchen leads to a healthier life.